going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe here. With this time it's not so much a Yumeko Novel 2 update. I got a little information about that that I will share on that. But more so, as the video states, Yumeko story arc announcement. So yeah, yep, I kind of as I'm slowly but surely coming up, typing up, the say book number two, rough draft, and of course I still gonna, I still should be getting the rough draft back for for book number one, so I can get the proofs in it and have it published and everything. Yeah, still, but I am gonna be getting a hold of that. Um, yeah, but while I've been waiting, I've been getting some of book number two done. I had to redo some things in book number two, and also as ideas have been coming during all this, processing, been also thinking ahead of what this is possible, what this series is leading to, especially as in terms of story arc wise. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Uh, Before we go into that and my rambling, just want to give a shout out to AJ the Supreme, our Patreon for the channel there, and you can be a Patreon just like AJ the Supreme. Yep, you could be that like him, get yourself a shout out. Definitely sign up as a pleasure to support the channel there. $5 or more will definitely get you that shout out there. And depending on, like say, if you do more than $5, depending on how much more you do, there are other, there are other benefits to it there. That's explained in a video. That's explained on the Patreon site. I mean, but I think it should be on the video too. But I do know that the recent video that I put up involving Patreon does tell you, how to the how to become a Patreon. So that way, you know what all you need to do and how you sign up and everything like that. For those of you who may not, know how to do the Patreon. Yeah, I know some of y'all probably saying like, well, we've done Patreon before with other YouTubers there, but there are some people I have encountered that were like, well, how do I do that? So yeah, so this is for them. Say, and even if still take a look at it. Up to you. even if you do know, but you want to look at it for the heck of it. So that's all cool too. Also, definitely want to, and also yeah, definitely like, share, subscribe. Buy some of my comic books as well as also, like I just said, become a Patreon pledger like EJ the Supreme. And also, definitely want to announce, as of now, for this channel, since I've been on this channel, Miracle Universe, um, I have actually obtained over 2,000 public watch hours out of 4K. Thing is, when you get to 4K, you're able to get monetized. A lot of y'all probably know that as well. Say, yep. But I'm saying it now. But I'm saying it anyway. So, but yeah, for once you get to the 4K mark, you get monetized and everything. So yeah, I'm halfway there. Since I've started this new channel, back in August, started this with some videos that I uploaded up to the duck video and all that. So and now we're up to where we're at now. So yeah, so quite a journey. So yeah, I definitely plan to make that goal. More than likely before we get the because they have to be within the 12 months. Within at least a year. So yeah, pretty much 12 months. Yeah. So yeah, goal is definitely to get it before August comes again, which I'm pretty sure, as far as I am now, that shouldn't be too much of a problem there, because the more videos upload, the more chances of watch hours you get, because there's more to watch. More videos put up, more people have to look at there. Especially you're like, okay, I saw that video, now what's next? So yep, so shouldn't be a problem there. So yeah, there's that. So now cleared all that up and everything. Let's get into what we're here to talk about: the story arcs. So first thing before I go into that, let me give you a little bit into what I do have so far for book number two, what I have written, added a little bit more as well as redid a few things. That's one thing about, especially with story writing. There's gonna be some times where you're gonna be up, where you actually will get ready to write your story. Any of y'all that write books or anything like that, or just just write stories, even if you're writing fanfics, yeah, because that's still right. That's still writing too. Or any kind of writing in general, like even somebody that's writing a speech. This like you finna go do a public speaking or something like that. Um, there are chances that you will have some writer's block. So yeah, that kind of thing can happen, especially um, and like I say, it can happen with any form of writing, but it definitely is a big issue in story writing. Just like I say, So yeah, that thing can kind. So yeah, sometimes you could be sitting up and ready to write, and you be like, oh, what do I let's see? What do I say? So yeah, that kind of thing can happen. That's kind of one of the reasons and also there's the thing of procrastination too. Yep. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I ain't done it, and like or haven't done it recently because I mean that's that can be a part of it too. Like I say, regardless of who you are, that procrastination can hit you sometimes just as bad as the writer's block. So I'm just saying, I'm just admitting to it. As one reason I kind of relate to the procrastination episode of SpongeBob, because yeah, like I say, it happens. It just sometimes it happens, and sometimes I've come up in, sometimes got distracted by a little thing. Next thing you know, I'd be like, oh crap, I didn't write anything. Darn dadgummit. As Yosemite Sam say, that gone it, vermin. You that gone it procrastination, vermin. You got me again. Oh. So anyway, let's go on into it there. So okay, so about some of the rewrites and what I've added, and the little bit I've added to book number two so far, the rough draft wise. Okay, so yeah, first chapter, kind of okay. Okay, of course there was the last time on Yumeko, book number one, a little summary of that. Chapter one. Now this is okay. Now this is also a big difference too. I actually extended. I think I want to say the second chapter. Let's see. Yeah. Basically the second chapter. Um, so first chapter pretty much the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Kind of extends what happened when Flora came and told everybody about what was going on at the abandoned cola mart from book one, and Emily was a little suspicious, and then everybody goes to the rescue, and Flora kind of gets a little attitude with Emily, and like, who do you think you are, my mom or something? sort sort of like in Brownie, or like in Brownie reactions, my Brownie's reaction to the Cat in the Hat when Brownie got mad with CJ. It was like, and CJ was like, "Who do you think you are, my dad or something? I am practically an adult." Yeah, so now we come to chapter two. This is where this is where some of the re-edits come up, and also extension of the chapter. So that was one thing Christina pointed out, aka Queen Tina, pointed out to me when because she actually, cause both her and my mom do proofs of my book. Like she has a copy of the rough draft of my rough draft, and my mom has a copy. And she's already done her proof, did on one of her off days, and she was talking about how short the book was there for the first book. So like one thing I stated, the sizes this time would kind of vary, sort of like when I wrote the Heroes of Dreams novel. So yeah, just letting you know, when these books start getting published, some of them might like you might get one book that might have a different price than another book there. So it's not like it's like I said, I'm not sure what the price is going to be yet, but that's all going to be determined when the publishing comes out. But I can guarantee not all the books are gonna cost the same. Like with the comic books, where I kept them at a certain length, so all of them cost $7 there. So I'm just saying because there's a lot more in his head that gotta be told, and that's kind of one advantage with the novel thing. Like I said, I did enjoy the comic. Trust me, I have no problem illustrating, but since that was taken, since the Photoshop stuff was taken away, for now, yeah, that's what we're doing now is with the novels, and like I say, as far as what will happen in the future, yeah, just have to see when it comes. So, no set saying of are y'all ever gonna go back to the comics? Yeah, maybe, probably will, but as far as how and when, not sure yet. So have to do what we got for right now until that time gets here. So chapter two, I think was called. If I want to say, let me bring up this other email. Let's see, chapter two. Um, that's one reason why I every time I like finish so much. I try to do at least like a chapter. Sometimes I do more depending on what all my time and what all comes out of me when I'm writing. But I try to do at least a chapter each time I sit down to write my books and stuff like that. Um, and then I email myself that, so just in case something happens to the files on my computer, well, it's actually in the jump drive, but just in case something ever happens to it, hopefully it don't, I at least have backup in my email. Yep. So yeah, that's one little suggestion to you guys. You're typing your story on your computer and stuff. Yeah, emailing it to yourself is a good backup. In case something ever happens to your jump drive. You can also have spare jump drives too. Nothing wrong with that, but just in case, that email is also a good additional backup to that. Yeah, in case something happens with the jump drive. So, just a little suggestion for any of you story writers that are watching this. I almost said store writers. Say, oh boy. So, originally chapter two was called Warping Confusion. That's what it was called. So go back to the current email. That's what I'm reading it off of here. It's one advantage of the email backup. Since I'm using the laptop or webcam, I can read my stuff here on my phone through the email. So, yeah, it's another advantage of backups. All right, so I renamed it Darker Details because I was reading when I was going through the book again, before writing a little bit more to it. I kind of was thinking like, maybe that might not be um say maybe it might need a different title for the chapter there. So yeah, so that's why I got Darker Details. um okay, so you got Granny Papa there, on the freeway, and all the skulls with spider legs start showing up, and they drive through them and all that. Nah. So now they trying to look for Hiko and his friends, of course. And then, of course, back over at the Bandit Colomar, you got the scene with Ramon showing up, and that Ramon and Shanice talking with Hiko Brownie and the others there, and that extended conversation, sort of referencing some things from Brownie Reacts a little bit there. Um, yeah, definitely making me think of how 2017 Ducktales reboot really, not only rebooted its original series, but also or remake or the remake of its original series, but also reference things, not just adding the Disney Afternoon, but other Disney Afternoon show, but also expanded on its lore. a lot. Yeah, like pulling stuff even from the DuckTales comics and stuff. So yeah, there's that. Uh, so of course they get sent to that ward. Uh, Emily has Billy to track down where Emily is, and of course they find out uh, where this is. Um, Now one thing now it's still revealed that it's Skeleton City. That's still the same. Just some of the dialogue got edited a little bit to make it where the big reveal didn't come until a little bit later. And I'll let you know when that is. Um, so Emily goes there. Of course, Billy tries to warn her, but Emily, she's like, "No, I need to get there and see what that little pixie's up to," because she don't trust Flora at all. Yep. So, so then of course, yeah, she does that. Goes back in the dojo. This is you'll see some students that are training. I think this is originally where chapter 3 started, somewhere in here. After Emily left to find Flora, and then chapter 3 started. But instead, we're still in chapter 2. So, the students that are training, um, all of a sudden, one of them has a vision of Skelegon, the skeleton dragon, attacking Granny Big Papa. Of course, she doesn't know who those two are, but she's like, "Oh my goodness, what in the world?" Then Hiko, Samuel, and Naomi appear out of the vortex first. Brownie and Mr. Fluffles and Gerald, now they will appear, but the thing is, they just appear at different times. So first is Hiko, Naomi, and Samuel. Uh, Samuel looks up at one of the students and is like, Naomi? Because she looks a lot like Naomi. Of course, this is revealed that it's Julie Yukoshi. Uh, that which is a this is a reference um to Casey, one who came up with the characters like Julie Yukoshi, her brother Tim. That's also in here, and the other two students. She also that Casey also came up with for the book. There's Molina Kingston, and also Julius. I came up, and I'm going to tell you his last name in a second. I actually came up with a last name for him, because we say there wasn't a last name with Julius at first. So came up with a last name for him. Showed it to her to see what she thought of it, and she was like, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool." So yeah, yeah, he think this is actually a ref. The fact that he thinks Julie is Naomi is a reference to when I first met Casey back at summer school, right before the eighth grade, before the ninth grade. I mean, and he was like, "Hey, anybody sitting here?" I was like, "Nah, you can sit there." And all of a sudden, I got a good look at Casey. I was like, "You look like the brown-haired girl from Yu-Gi-Oh." Oh, you mean Taya? I get that a lot. Yeah, and then of course after that found out more about Yu-Gi-Oh. So so yeah, it's a reference to that. Um, and also it's a reference to a scene from an episode in season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh. Cause he says, Naomi, how did you change your clothes so fast? Um, there was a scene in season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh. When they first entered the virtual world, the Noah Arc, and when they got there, they were looking around at all the stuff, and then Taya looked up and saw a double of Kaiba. Like, Kaiba, did you change your clothes? Taya. Then when she realized that that wasn't Kaiba, and the original Kaiba was standing over here, still in his Battle City wear, because the double had on his Duelist Kingdom outfit. What? Hey. Relax. These are holographic doubles. I made them to duel against. But why duel yourself? Who better? so so yeah, he's like, how did you change your clothes up? And Naomi's, I did not change my clothes, and she is not me. Sort of similar to how Starfire talks to Teen Titans there. And yeah, yeah, he goes like, you look just like Naomi. And of course, Julie Julie gotta have some jokes. Of Casey had her own style of humor as well. Is a so well, I guess I have a twin sister now. And Naomi doesn't she first she don't really she doesn't realize that that's a joke there. Um, which yeah, like I said, if I hadn't mentioned it before, yeah, one thing, Naomi is autistic there, and that's sort of like me and Christina, and yeah, that is kind of a thing. It's a little now, of course, it's a little different in every autistic person. Not all, some autistic people may have this way of thinking, and some may have that way of thinking. But that usually is kind of a thing, because like I say, I've come across now I do now of course, I make some jokes and stuff like that myself, but there are some that I do run across that, I don't realize it right then and there. Like, what? Especially when I go especially at work sometimes. Some of the yeah, and a lot of time I end up getting laughed at about it there, but it's like it's hey dude guys, I didn't get it. But yeah, that's what a lot of time people don't understand that there. So yeah, Naomi didn't catch on. She's like, "You are my twin sister, but how come I have not seen you before? And why did my parents not tell me about you?" Like, wait, and then Tim, of course, has to explain, like, hey, it was just a joke. And they introduced themselves. He's Timothy Yukashi. A lot of people call him Tim. His sister Julie. Um, and of course, Melina introduces herself, does a little curtsy, and they act. And there's a little thing I added to her, sort of kind of make kind of. Now I know I mentioned Julie, has a little bit of jokes in her, but it's in a kind of a different style. I guess you could say Melina is kind. Um, Melina, I think in her case, it's more of kind of just being goofy. Yeah, it's just kind of a natural goofiness to her, sort of like Goofy himself. Hi, yo, everybody. Something like that, a little bit, but but in an adorable kid way, though. Not, of course, yeah, I know Goofy is kind of for kids too, unless you watch the early black and white cartoons where he turned into Mr. Ed. Yeah, but yeah, more like how Goofy is like in the Goofy movie. Yeah. so so Melina, yeah, she's like, I'm Melina Kingston, but you can call me Melina. Of course they can call you Melina, you silly dilly. And yeah, they sort of laugh about it a little bit. Um, that was actually a little something I kind of got from Nisha's book, Dora, which only has one book for that. One book at the moment, like I say. Um, but yeah, there was a scene in her first book uh, where oh wait, I got it right here. Um, yeah, this book, by the way, where let's see, it was a scene they were at school where her friend Gina, they had introduced herself to a new kid in the class there, and she'd say, "I'm Gina, but everybody calls me Gina." Say, and of course Dora, aka CJ, in her human form, she was because her full name was Christelle Johnson. So this was before the CJ character in Brownie Reactions. Now, well, I guess from Descendants, yeah. So this was before we knew about that. Um, and she's like, of course, everyone would call you Gina, you dummy. So like, oh, almost got sound like Fred, almost like Fred Sanford line. You big dummy. CJ. Mm. So yeah, there's yeah, kind of a little something, little humor from that there. Of course, they can call you Molina. That's your name. Mm. So yeah, they all so of course everybody introduced themselves. Um, Julius, and this brief little introduction of Julie, Tim, Melina, and now Julius kind of gives you just a little sample of what they're kind of like and their character. Just like so far in the first book, Hiko, Samuel, and Naomi. Um, with Julius kind of quiet type there. Sort of I sort of think of Bakura from Yu-Gi-Oh when the good Bakura when I write Julius because that like I say one of Casey's many anime crushes there. Yeah, so yeah, I think because one of her many anime crushes, which there was a fan fiction someone had wrote for her about her character in Yu-Gi-Oh with Bakura. So uh, yeah, that was that. So yeah. Oh, that's right. So Melina looks over at Julius and like, Julius kind of hesitates to speak, and then Melina's like, "Aren't you gonna introduce yourself, Julius?" And like, you kind of introduced him. Oh, sorry. At least I didn't say his last name was Hecarin. Oh, sorry again. Oops, oops, oops. Almost like no, make it like a Hillary from Fresh Prince. Oops, oops, oops. I tend to goof a lot when I get really excited. So, yeah. Um. So Julius, yeah. Julius's last name is is Hikaran. Hikaran. Um. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah. Cause I actually had yeah. Let me just double check Google pronunciation there. Let me got an idea. Cause usually when you put okay, I guess I gotta go to the Google app. Yeah, it's probably do that translator thing there. Get ran there. Yeah, we'll see. And okay, it doesn't want. Let's see, wait. For some reason, it does not want to do that. When you want it, when you want it to do a certain something, it won't want to do it there. I don't know why. I just want to pronounce. That way I can enunciate it right. Oh well, yeah well. We're just gonna say Hickoran, yeah. Hickoran. Some people reading it might say Hekaran, even though there's no C in it there. But yeah, just say Hikaran. It's Hekaran. What it is, the Hika part is oh wait, I know a way to do it there. Let's see. Okay, just gonna put in a random word here. Okay, I guess I power in yeah, I'm gonna put in a random word just to bring the translator up. And Siri tried to activate. Okay, yeah, here we go. Now I can type the word in. Type the oh, type the word in here. Hikaran. And now all I gotta do is there we go. Okay. You heard it? Hikaran. Yeah. So yeah, Julius Hikaran. There we go. So as Kaiba said, there's always a back door to things. There's always a back door if you know where to look. so, so yeah, Julius Hikaran, everybody met each other. Then Hiko actually starts to notice something familiar about Julius, like he's seen him before. But before he can say anything, we'll get more into that later in the series. Suddenly Brownie, Gerald, and Mr. Fluffles come out of the vortex now. Um, just then, Billy reveals that tells everybody that Flora disappeared, um, and also where the computer traced her to, and that Emily's gone after Flora. And that's when we get the backstory about Skeleton City. So here's what Mr. Fluffles tells us about it. Back in 1985, there was a city known as Miriam, not too far from Barnhart, with lots of farmland for miles. One day, a wild dragon attacked the city. The military arrived immediately and were able to defeat the dragon. Then one night in 1988, an odd meteor fell in the city, and the next day the skeleton of that dragon rose from its grave. Somehow he was stronger than before, and he was able to regenerate himself every time the military attacked. So we evacuated the city and sealed it with a magical barrier to prevent the dragon from escaping. But because of his skeletal form, the dragon and Miriam City is now called Skeleton City. So that's how we get the name Skeleton for both the dragon and the city. And originally it was called Miriam City. One thing definitely to state about these cities, if I haven't said it already, um, a lot of the city names I've actually gotten from different dictionaries. Now that probably sounds a little weird, but it was when the first time when I actually tried to write like a brownie adventure story back in high school, and I think maybe some other types of writings. I remember using the name Barnhart for the name of a city, especially in the brownie adventure story. That was supposed to be kind of like an anime there, and that's what I named the city was Barnhart City, and there was a neighboring city called Elmer City, and possibly another city called Webster City. So yeah, different dictionary names. So yeah, so this is another one, Miriam City, here in what's known as the Douglas region of the Yumeko world. So so yeah, that's when and Julie tells them about the vision she had um, when Hiko asks when Hiko hears that she says she saw an elderly man and woman. He shows Julie a picture of Granny Big Papa and asks did they look like this, and she's like, yeah, they did. You know them? They're my Granny Big Papa. That must be where Ramon sent them. So now, um, first thing Brandy's like, okay, yep, Gerald and I are gonna handle this mission. Um, and he at first, he tells the kids to stay behind, but he goes like, no, I'm coming with you because I'm not gonna just stay here while my grandparents are in danger. Naomi also wants to go to help Hiko save his grandparents the same way that he saved her. And of course, we know Samuel's gonna join in. They no way, no way. I'm gonna just stand here and not help my buddy. So like Joey, whenever he whenever Yugi goes, to handle something like, I'm coming with you, Yugi. So Brownie's not sure if this is a good idea, but of course, they're gonna go. Um, now I know I said Samuel, Naomi, and Hiko. Probably Julie is gonna come with them as well because, like I say, she's able to knowing what this place is. She could probably teleport them past the barrier with her powers. But I'm not sure if any of the others will come, like Tim, Julius, and Melina. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I'm still debating on that. But I do know Julie will come. Um, and of course, excuse me, excuse me. But one thing Mr. Fluffles advises Brownie is like Skeleton City is a mysterious place. There are many areas mixed up like a maze. So it would be wise to let the children come help you cover more ground. And probably discover the weakness of Skeleton, just like Hiko did against the giant zombie. Yeah, go as we go. One thing that's been established, um, the kids, the imagination of our world is what pretty much brought Yumeko into existence. And the strongest source of imagination obviously is from the children. Not saying that the adults don't have it, because I mean, hello, I'm 35 and I got a and I still got an active imagination. So it's not saying that us adults don't have it either. It's just saying that the strongest source of imagination mostly comes from kids there, which is a pretty truthful there. Uh, one, and of course, I guess you could say, I guess those of us adults that do have our imagination, as Bobby Proud said in one episode, because I'm a child at heart. Now bring my mama back so she can make me a snack. Cause I'm hungry, yeah. And it's like, oh no, mama, where'd you go, mama? So, Melina's not the only one with some. Melina and Julie aren't the only one with humor. So then, of course, to chapter 3, the Golden Buffalo returns. Any of y'all that hadn't seen the previous videos of Yumeko novel 1 updates, in the first novel, there was a chapter where Big Papa had a dream about a golden buffalo, and he was fighting it in his backyard, which was a reference to uh, when I actually had a dream of Big Papa fighting a giant buffalo in his backyard, and Granny was like, "Be careful fighting that buffalo." so the chapters start off. Big Papa, he's drive him and Granny. Then they riding around trying to look for Hiko and the others, and they arrive at a fishing pond. So they stop, to see if they can find anything here, or Hiko them, and they know this is where Flora teleported to, was near this, by a tree near the pond, and she's listening to her Walkman, which pretty much tells you the time period that, if you didn't already know, yeah, this is definitely back in the 90s, 1995 to be exact, when I was 7, and of course my character Hiko is 7. So yeah, Walkmans were a big thing, and I actually looked up when Walkmans first came out. Turns out they came out, I think it's say like 1978. So and I say that because I'm about to mention why I said that there. But yeah, so Flora's listening to her Walkman. So like how nowadays we be listening, how after that we had the CD players, MP3s, and nowadays we just go straight to our iPhones. Or some of us might still have, I don't know, some of us might still have, um I guess what they call the iPods or something like that. We might, some people might still have that, but I know a lot of us, it's the phone, because we have those. And like my boy Josh at work, he got these wireless earbuds that hook that wireless, linked with the phone, so he could be listening to music and video when he be at work and stuff. Since he worked the night shift, cause night stalker, they don't be no customers in there at that hour, so it just be them, and that's what they do, they do their work and be jamming. um, so yeah, so she's listening to her Walkman, she jamming, probably maybe possibly listening to some Will Smith back then. the, parents are the same no matter time or place. They don't understand us kids are gonna make some mistakes. So do you all the children all across the world? There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand. Do 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 do. Well, there's something you have to understand. Sometimes parents just don't understand. So, yeah, I would imagine that would be one option of something to listen to. Say, I mean, who wouldn't listen to Big Willie Smith? So, Big Papa tries to call out to Flora and say, "Excuse me, can you help us, young lady?" Oh wait, Big Papa. Excuse me, can you help? Excuse me, young lady, can you help us? Uh, Flora, of course, can isn't able to hear Big Papa, of course, because she's got the headphones in, and since this is a Walkman, they ain't got the little tiny earbuds that we got now, or the wireless ones. Nah, they got the one with not only with the cord, but also ear. They got these big ones like this, which and some of us still use these. I think most of us that use these or something similar to this, usually like when people that be doing radio shows, like especially even for internet, I guess satellite radio or whatever. But they'll sometimes use this, and then sometimes you got some content creators on YouTube that you know they just wear these like from Channel Awesome, Paul. That was kind of his thing for his YouTube. I hadn't really seen his videos on Channel Awesome, but I know from the anniversary movies and also some when he sort of crossed over with Nostalgia Critic. Yeah, this was he always wore these there. So yeah, it's still used today, just in different I guess for different reasons. But yeah, we mostly the tiny wireless earbud. But yeah, these sometimes are still used. But but yeah, with the Walkman, this would be the big thing. Yeah, yeah, and also she has her eyes closed, so she can't see him either. So, okay, here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation and they left the keys to the little boy to say, man, of course not. So, yeah, I use that song as an example because of how the whole thing argument with her and Emily. Though, who do you think you are, my mom or something? Parents just don't understand. And those kids are gonna make some mistakes. Like I don't believe it. I just let a couple of kids into an. I just told these. I just told a couple of boys about the abandoned color bar and they decided to go in, even though I told them not to. It's like, I just made a mistake. Well, parents just don't understand. So, so of course, yeah, she's jamming and even doing a little dancing. They don't. Hey, you probably would do that too, especially that music get real good. You be. Yeah, I do it too. I can, yeah, I do it too if I get a chance. And of course, Granny says her signature line for this series: "Cat dash it." And I did. Let's see if y'all can see it there. Let's see where. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I did put some dashes in there, so it wouldn't get misread as something else. Got to clarify that. So, like in an old Smosh video I saw once, I'm not gonna say what he was saying. Only thing I'm gonna say is I should have put a hyphen there. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that to keep it PG. So, y'all want to know? Y'all want say my adult viewers? Y'all want to know what it is? Yeah, go check it out. If it's still up there, I don't even know if Smosh still up on YouTube or not. Yeah, but and that's to my adult viewers. Yeah, it's not for kids. Don't. Yeah, I don't want. So so yeah, Granny's like, "Cat dash it." Them young folks get to listening to their music on them devilish headphones and they can't hear a thing. just the same way the same way Michael was when AJ got him those for his birthday. That's her. What she just said there was a rep, and yeah, probably people like Granny that would say that. I actually said that myself. Well, something similar to that to my buddy Josh, because, and I mean and like I say, we laugh about it because that's yeah, cause yeah, because I mean he's pretty good. He's a pretty good dude. That's how we do. So like my other buddy Andre that made the Spider Dre video about with him as Spider Man. Yeah, cause, yeah, he was all on board with that. He laughed about it. Look at me, I'm Spider Dre. Y'all know I was a super. Hey, everybody, y'all know, Gabe said I was a superhero. so, so yeah, so yeah, made sure that we cool about this. so, but yeah, that one thing I would always, no, not recently, but that's one thing I kind of would be on about sometime. I come up there I come up to work and I say, "Hey, Josh, whoa, whoa!" I was like, "Boy, turn those headphones down. You can't hear nothing." Nah, I'm fine, I'm fine. Ooh, he never turn them down. He'll never turn them down. So I'm gonna always be fussing about them headphones. Turn that music down. You youngsters always have that music up so loud. Turn it down. See? But I tell you what, and don't get me started with when they had the loud music in the neighborhood, be almost vibrating everything. Boom, 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 boom. Almost you talking about the earthquakes in California? That'd be the earth. They bring an earthquake here. Did you feel the earthquake? So yeah, that's kind of a reference to that. To yeah, me and Jack kind of clowning each other a little bit there about the headphones. Yeah, so it's a reference to that little joke, little harmless joke between buddies. So yeah, and yeah, got know for his 13th birthday, and so just then Emily appears nearby, and she rushes right up the floor and snatches the headphones off. Oh, better yet, let me give you a demonstration. So, then Emily shows up. Hey, just snatched them right up there. Ever, ever knew somebody that says that had somebody snatch their headphones off? So, it's like, so then they get each other, and Big Papa has to try to show up to has to try to get between, like, hey, ladies, let's break it up now. What's going on? And Emily tries to explain the situation there. The situation, of course, Floor is going to get on the defense about this. Say the defense about, like, it wasn't my fault. so So yeah, then of course the argument is stopped when all of a sudden they hear a herd of angry buffalo. Um, that's where I've come. That's the point of this of what I've come to and what I've been writing. A little bit more than I thought there. A little bit more to it than I thought, but yeah, that's where I've come to. Um, Herd of angry golden buffaloes, and they are the same size as the one in Big Papa's dream. Um, and of course, that's a reference to something. Like, what is it a reference to this time, Gabe? Well, this is a reference to back when my Big Papa and I actually went fishing when I was a little kid. We used to go fishing to this old pond, similar to what's here in the story. And there was this one time that we were there. The pond this pond had a lot of cows and bulls up there. Yeah, they had a lot of cows and bulls. You had to really make sure you watch where you stepped at because you know what? When you got a bunch of cows, when you got a bunch of cows or any kind of cattle around, you know what you might possibly step in, if you know what I mean, if you're not careful. So, but yeah. So one day we were up there, and suddenly we heard like someone go, ooh, ooh. We look over. Me and my papa see a whole bunch of bulls. Now they weren't charging at us. They weren't, like y'all see in the cartoon when the bull be all of a sudden they see something red. So like this one cartoon I saw, it's real funny. When this wolf was getting all his utensils to eat this cow, and all of a sudden, when he turns around to slaughter the cow, all of a sudden he's face to face with this bull. I'm assuming must be the cow's boyfriend or mate. The wolf looks at the bull and he starts putting up his utensils. The bull watching at every move he make. then the wolf even puts himself in his little bag and starts walking on his fingers. Then he runs, and then the bull's coming after him. And there's steam coming out of the bull's horns. Next thing you know, bam! Whams the wolf right up to a tree. Yeah, so, yeah, I had to mention that. So, about the bulls at the fishing pond now, back to that. What happened was, now they weren't charging like that bull, but they were kind of slowly moving toward us, and kind of looking, kind of staring and everything. So Big Papa told me to get in the truck. Get in the truck. I don't know how old I was back then. I'm assuming like 6 or 7, but he told me to get in the truck, and he went up. He went up to the bulls, and some kind of way he got them to go away. There, he got. I don't know how exactly he did, because like I say, I was in the truck like, oh my goodness, bulls, bulls, bulls. So yeah. But yeah, that's sort of what that herd of angry golden buffalo. Yeah, a reference to when the bunch of bulls that we saw out there. So that was quite a bit. That's quite a bit to share on just what I had to re-edit and add to the book. Now we find we're at the well, according to my video, it should be the same on YouTube, but now at the 53-minute mark, 53 30-second mark, we are finally at the story arc, to discuss about the story arc of where this series is going to go. Um, I guess I should have maybe mentioned to y'all earlier to have some popcorn with this. Yeah, which honestly I would advise y'all to have popcorn in any videos like this, because I have a lot to say. So maybe and as I would do, popcorn and nachos. So anyway, with the story arcs now. So after these first two books, when I finally get the first book proofed and have it edited, uh, then of course the next one will be to have the sorry, ant up here. All right, take care of that. No, you don't. Okay. Don't need no ants coming up in here. Let's see. Anyway, Ms. House. So anyway, so of course, with that said, oh that's right. So yeah, after the first book, then the second, and obviously finish up the second book. Um, yeah, one, and of course, I'll obviously, know who I'm gonna be going to after the first book. So obviously that will be the same. Whoever I go to for this first book to be published, that's where I'm probably gonna be going to from then on. To sort of evolve my publishing there, as well as get it on like the bookshelves here in Shreveport. where a lot of my locals can get it, and you can still order it online. It's still, yeah, obviously that's still gonna be a thing. That's with any publishing, yeah. But yeah, at least for my locals, I can definitely get local sales there too as well, which could increase the chances of some of the online ones because people are gonna talk about it. Like, hey, I saw this book from Gabe. So um, so with that, so yeah, after the first two books, they take care of Skeleton and everything. There's going to be a thing known as the Rubian Cube, and let me hang on just a second. Okay, and now we're back. Sorry about that. They had to basically throw that piece of paper I had in my hand earlier that I used to get rid of that ant I saw. Yeah, and I don't mean Aunt Bunny from Eddie Murphy. Hey, come on in here and kiss your Aunt Bunny. Why don't you want to kiss your Aunt Bunny? She got a mustache. Ow! Stop all that crying. I said stop. So yeah, Aunt Bunny it ain't Aunt Bunny there. Now it's an actual say ant. Yeah, I don't know why it was in here, but yeah. So yeah, I got rid of that, and also like I said, I've been sitting up here a while, so I had to take a little restroom break. So yeah, told you some of. Like I say, I'm not saying all the video, but yeah, whenever it's stuff like these story updates, stuff like that, or anything pertaining to my books, sometime it can be a while. It can pretty much be a movie length video. So I'm just like I say, just a fair warning. Fair warning to make sure y'all pop up your popcorn. Like get a big bowl too, and some nachos, and some nachos, maybe a candy bar. Like a Tinseltown now at the movie theater. So anyway, you probably wonder, okay, wait, why do you got a Rubik's cube in here? This is actually an inspiration for um, what people call the MacGuffin. The MacGuffin that's going to be the first arc of Yumeko. Um, there's an item called the Rubian Cube, and what it is, it's sort of what is the kind of the source of pretty much it's a source of energy that helps kind of transfer the imagination and dream the because like I said, Yumiako's fueled by dreams and imagination. This is sort of sort of like a little over time. This kind of developed over time when Yumiko came into existence. This also developed as a way of and it sort of kept a balance between Yumiko and our world, and also other worlds that started to come into existence as well, especially like other universes, the multiverse and stuff. So yeah, this is sort of came into existence of that. Um, what so anyway, what the whole thing behind this is, it's been broken up into individual blocks. Now, of course, you see that this is like a four cube Rubik's cube here. So let's see, you got let's see, one, two, three, four, going. So it's pretty much a square. So yeah, four, pretty much all around. So of course, 4, 8, 12, 16 blocks, and add about. So yeah, you add that about four more times. Okay, you got 60 plus 60, of course, is 32. So 32 plus 32 would be 64. So 64 blocks to find. Yeah. So yeah, 64. So the whole thing is 64 block. It broke into 64 blocks and scattered across the universe, possibly the multiverse. You never know. Just all depends on what comes to mind. Uh, yep. So and I'm thinking, yeah, like I say, in book one, it was mentioned that Brownie had worked with the IT comic characters. Um, so he probably did so. It's probably either implied that the IT characters, like Ultra Cat and Food Cat and all them, if you're not sure what I'm talking about there, check my previous videos for more information on IT comic character. Imagine that. There's definitely some videos earlier in my channel. On the videos, scroll down, or either you can look in the Yumeko playlist, kind of save you some time there. Tell you should be under there. IT, imagine that, either imagine that or IT. It should be one of those labels. Tell you all about that. So yeah, so probably if it's scattered across the multiverse, this probably um, it could be possible that Brownie may have traveled across different universes to meet up with some of these IT characters and possibly some others like that. Um, there's also the chance that they could exist right there in Yumeko. I mean, that's a possibility. Um, so yeah, uh, yeah, that's still in development, like I say. But we do have sort of an ideal of where to go. So yeah, just trying to collect these cubes, and also there's gonna be getting to know the characters that we have so far, like Brownie and his friends, things about them, as well as also our human cast. That's Hiko, Samuel, Julie, Tim, Naomi, and Melina and Julius, and also some and probably some additional characters as well. Definitely, especially on Samuel's end, you're gonna have like when he becomes he'll become Star Striker in this arc. So yeah, you're definitely gonna get his other superpowers. Brian becoming Target. And of course, Angela and Monet gonna be in there in order to bring Diva Slay about, and of course Calvin is Venom X, and I do plan to do a history video of my boy Calvin. Yes, he will be getting one soon. That'll be coming. Um, Probably. I'm not sure about the day that I'm recording this because I'm making this really big video. It's probably gonna take a lot of take a lot from it. And plus, I want to write some of my story before the day over too. So, but yeah, he'll be coming. He'll be coming. Um, so yeah, a lot. So there's gonna be a quite a bit for the first arc. At first, my intention was for the first arc to only take place over the course of the summer vacation because it is summertime at the beginning of this series. And yeah, all the kids are out of school and everything. But it might carry over into their the first school year of the series. Not their first school year, but the first one of the series. Hiko, of course, starting seventh grade, second grade because he's 7. Samuel also is in the second grade. Some of his other friends that he'll meet as well, like Brian and Brian will be second grade. Um, Now there are going to be different ages for some of the other characters. Julie, Tim, and Melina. Those three, they're going to be 8. Mainly because being that especially Julie is based off Casey, of course, because she came up with the character, obviously, and her brother Tim. Both of them are twins, so obviously they're going to be the same age. One reason of making them 8, a year older than Hiko and Samuel, because um, Casey in real life is a year older than I am. So that's just pretty much linking with that. Melina obviously being 8 as well because she's a childhood friend of Julie and Tim. Grew up with them. Now Julius is actually going to be probably the youngest so far of the human cast. The youngest that we have until they meet some of the other characters. He's actually going to be 6. But the thing is, he would actually turn 7 at some point in, I want to say, September. Yeah, so September I think would be his birthday. And there's a reason behind that, behind him having a late birthday and all that. which would be um, something that would be explained later on there. Uh, so let's see. Think it. Oh yeah, thought I heard something outside. So yeah, there's that. Brownie, we know, has announced I'm 21. Emily, of course, is 23, 2 years older than him, pretty much like me and Christina. Oh, and also Naomi. I forgot to mention her. Naomi is actually 9 years old, 2 years older than Hiko. So yeah, that's that. Both Hiko and Naomi and Brownie and Emily both got the same age difference as me and my queen Tina, of course. So same difference in the age there. Yep. So yeah, there's that there. So yeah, Naomi of course is 9. So she's kind of out of the human cast so far. Naomi's kind of the oldest there, but you probably would not think that when you're first reading the story there. Um, and yeah, I may have mentioned in my earlier videos about the whole age thing. I think I may have stated that they were all the same age at one point. So yeah, like I say, so if you heard me in an earlier video say that they're all the same age, yes, okay, I will acknowledge that. But this is what came to me now, the to change. So yeah, obviously I would if I think I put about the ages in the first book, but since it's still improving, I can go back and change that if I I go because I got to go through it in order to put my edits in. So obviously, yeah, I can still make that change there to before publishing. Um, Now, of course, there's going to be other characters and stuff like that. Um, Basically, the first arc is going to focus with the main. I think it's 7 main human characters that we got so far, and of course the addition of Flora, which there's going to be something revealed about her that kind of comes in and out. But the main 7: Hiko, Samuel, Julie, Melina, Tim, Julius, and Naomi. They yeah, that's the ones that we would follow the most of. And yeah, probably through their eyes we would see some of these other characters that would show up as time goes on, but also kind of diving into them, as well as also our main plush toy, well, not anthropomorphic animals, uh, Brownie, uh, Brownie, Emily, Dashtail, Gerald. Oh yeah, and I gotta state that Brownie and Dashtail actually are the same age, 21. I stated that Emily is 23. Billy is actually 18. I think I'm probably gonna say he's 19 actually. Um, I probably would go with, let's see, maybe I would, yeah, I guess technically, yeah, it could say 18, yeah. But and he's actually graduated early, uh, alongside with Brownie and the others. Um, Gerald is actually let's see, because I got said Emily's 23, so Gerald is actually 20 22, a year older than Brownie and Dashtail, but he repeated the grade in school there. Um, they got that, and so yeah, you got them. Anna would actually be the same age that I might possibly make Anna 19 there. Yeah, possibly night. Yeah, I think 19 would be better. Be like a year older than Billy. So yeah, definitely 19, and of course her siblings. Of course, there's her little baby sister Camille, who's like I think like 1 years old. I have to check my rough draft again when I go through it. I think she's like 1 years old, and of course the two twins, Kevin and Karen, they're 7 like Hiko. So there's your different ages with that. With some of those. Now, of course, there are going to be some characters that might not have their ages announced, at least not right away. might just be something that gets found out. And one thing with writing that kind of thing, yeah, that's some now being that especially a novel, I will some of them if it all depends on you know how it kind of depends on the situation at the time that these characters are first introduced, whether their age would be announced or not. But for the most part, I try to even for a novel, try to make it natural, like some natural as far as announcing the ages and stuff like that. But for the most part, yeah, they do get announced when they're first introduced. A lot of them, now some of them don't. Uh, Again, it just all depends on, it just all kind of depends. It kind of varies there, but a lot of them will have their ages announced there. Um, so yeah, there's gonna be that. Ooh, so going off of that, yeah, basically, getting to know all these characters, as well as carrying the story of finding the blocks of the Rubian cube. So you're gonna get it's gonna be quite a bit of stories, a lot of which are based on different like dreams and stuff that I've had or things that I've imagined. Um, there is somewhat of a focus theme of some of the things that some of the enemies they go up against. Some of the enemies they go up against are references to some monsters from this video game I played called Star Tropics 2, mixed with some other things I've seen. And then of course, like I mentioned, Star Striker is going to be introduced in the first story arc as well, and there's going to be some times where you might see him, but not necessarily Hiko or Julie and the other, where he's especially after he's become Star Striker, and of course meets Brian, which he's gonna meet Brian first and then become Star Striker, because originally in the 2004 Star Striker Target series, uh, when he had become Star Striker, he already knew Brian because he ran to tell Brian, "Hey, check out, I got superpowers," So that's definitely, yeah, he's definitely gonna meet Brian first, um, and then of course after that, Angela, Monet, and Calvin, yeah, all of them as time goes on, and so the first arc, like I say, is at first I was gonna make it like only take place over the course of the summer, but it probably is going to hit with so much that with these characters and stories to tell, it's more than likely going to carry over into uh, from summer all the way into the first school year for the series there. So, um, and one thing I was kind of wondering, like, how uh, would I, sort of keep connection between these characters? Because some of these characters are in different locations. Like, okay, Hiko and Samuel obviously are both in Shreveport here, but when they start school, they'll be at different. They'll be going to different schools, sort of like me and my cousin. Um, and then of course, now it is possible that Naomi would possibly be at Samuel's school, but she would be in a different. But being in a different grade, she probably would be in a different class, obviously. And then of course you got Julie, Tim, Melina, and Julius way over in Japan. This is what I kind of thought of to kind of solve that issue. At some point during the summer, before the school year starts, um, they would probably uh, Julie, Tim, and Melina would probably end up moving over to America here in Shreveport, to be closer to to Hiko, and because of what's going on and everything. Um, and obviously their parents are aware about Yumeko and everything. It's gonna be more about their parents and everything. But a lot of the parents of these kids are aware of Yumeko. So like how Hiko's grandparents, they know about Yumeko because his big papa told him about it. That's why he even got. That's why he came there in the first place, because he's like, hey, son, tell you about Yumeko. So yeah, so so the parents are well aware of this world. Um, say well aware of it, as well as the stuff that goes on there. And so Julie, Tim, and Melina would more than likely come here to Shreveport. Julius would come here some way now. Much like Flora, Julius is kind of mysterious, but in a different way. Yeah, because in Flora's case, it's more of, like, what is she up to, mischief, stuff like that. In Julius' case, he's just real quiet a lot and kind of secretive, which in a way Flora is secretive too, but yeah, I think it'd be so. Yeah, so finding out the mystery between characters like Julius and Flora would definitely be a thing throughout this series. But yeah, they would all end up in Shreveport. Now, as for solving the problem of the classes and stuff like that, um, now in real life, I don't know exactly when and how, but I do know, despite the fact of Casey being a year older than me, um, when we both started high school, we both started as freshmen. So um, so there is that factor. But also, I thought of something else that could solve with not just Julie and Hiko, but even some of the other characters. I thought about how my mom is a retired school teacher, and when she first started teaching, she actually at one point, I don't know if she started off in this, but at one point she did teach special education class. Yeah, I'm gonna say the full name because I, I know some people say special ed for short. So I'm just saying special educated just feels a little better. It's just me. Yeah, it's just a thing with me. Okay, so no, that's gonna sound a little weird, but that's just me. So um, she taught special education, like different, kids like different learning disabilities, stuff like that. Um, she actually has taught some kids with autism. Um, that, like I say, I did not know because obviously, not a lot of us knew about that, but she has encountered that when she taught, different kids with learning disabilities and stuff like that. People with ADHD and I would, yeah, there's other stuff like, possibly maybe possibly dyslexia and stuff like that. But yeah, she kind of experienced different kids like this, and during a certain period of time, she taught kids like this. Um, so I thought about what if at the beginning of the series, maybe the type of teacher that Hiko's mom would pretty much be a special needs teacher, uh, and she would not start off like at like at a regular school, but at a pretty much I think maybe I want to say there's a special place that she teaches these kids. Um, I guess it kind of like the equivalent of being homeschooled a little bit. But it's a yeah, like I say, it's a special place that building that the state would have arranged for. Kind of, y'all know how Mrs. Puff in SpongeBob has that driving school, Mrs. Puff's driving school. So she pretty much is the one teacher there. Something kind of like that there. So yeah, this would kind of be where obviously Hiko would start. Now, of course, in real life, I did go to regular school. Yeah, no, I did go to regular school. In kindergarten and first grade, I started off at a private school, Central Free Methodist School, a private Methodist school. Even had the little chapel, everything. So yeah, I started off there for the first 2 years, and then second grade, that's when I first attended regular public school, South Highlands. So from second to fifth grade, regular public school, and so on. Middle and high school, regular public school. So Now but for the purpose of this story now, Hiko will be in public school at some point, as well as his friends. But I thought for starting them off, it would be with this special class by his mother, um, to sort of kick it off there, especially for the sake of the first story arc. Um, because, like I say, like me, ADHD, and also autism and other things. Yeah, so so he would start off this special class that his mom teaches there. Might look up more information of how to set it up and everything. But of course, I got a little ways before I get to that point because they still got summer vacation going on. They just started summer vacation, so yeah. But since the first arc is going to carry over into the school year, yeah, kind of got to have that set up. So that's how you're going to get, despite the age differences, how you're going to get um, Hiko, Julie, Tim, Melina, Julius, and Naomi in a class together. And like I say, Samuel now he actually is at public school, so that's why you wouldn't see him with them, and that's how you're going to get Samuel building up his side of the series, with the other like Star Striker, Target, and all that. Because at the school he's going to go to, he's going to meet up him and especially him and Brian. That's how they're going to meet up with the other kids like Angela and Monet. So yeah, and also Calvin. So that's how that's going to start. That's going to be pretty much your first story arc. Pretty much dealing amongst these characters, finding the Rubik cube, and also in addition to that, something called the Destiny items. So yeah, they're gonna be in. So it's kind of like two sets of MacGuffins there. And there will be more information on a lot of this as I get to those books, which, like I say, is a pretty good ways off. But like I say, you'll be hearing about updates on them as we get to them. Um, but at least you got some. At least you got something in mind. This is coming up. So um, then as for the and I got in mind for a second story arc. Reason why, because there's another set of kids that's gonna come into this series, but I didn't want to cram a whole lot into. I mean, there's a whole lot already to start off with. So another set of kids for the second story arc, which that Hiko would become friends with. This is probably obviously when Hiko would first start public school and meet up with these other kids. And they would be and they him and these other kids. There'll be four of them together. They would become what's known as the Dino Magicians, which is sort of a reference to the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but as magicians. Of course, we had a magician theme with Mystic Force. I guess if you took Mystic Force and Mighty Morphin with the dinosaurs and put them together, uh, yeah, remember the sort of making me think of that Dino Powered episode from Power Rangers Beast Morphers when they had Jason there. He's like, "So you're a Goldar Maximus. I hope you're a lot tougher than the last one we faced." "Oh, I am, and I bought an army too." "An army? That's not an army." "What? A power coin?" And then, of course, it's morphin' time! Unleash the power! Tyrannosaurus! so, yeah, definitely a reference with the dinosaur theme from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but in a magician type of thing. Um, Definitely more of that when we get to that there, but just kind of giving you a little heads up. Um, there's also a thing with the villains that they're having to deal with, in collecting these MacGuffins in the first arc. Especially with Ramon Raban, and to say the Sorcerer Rabbit. He got some secrets to him, as well as Shanice, and there's gonna be some other villains as well, obviously, that they're gonna be going going in cahoots with. So Yeah, there's a lot to expect. Yeah, there's look like I spent more of this video on the re-edits of my more like of the re-edits of the re-edits of my second book there when I so it looked like I spent more time on it, but it did lead into the story arc talk. Um so yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna say on that. To keep Don't want to give away too much information. That's why keep you coming back for more. So yep, definitely you like what you saw here. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and also buy some books. Support us on Patreon. Just like AJ the Supreme. Yeah. Yeah, just like AJ the Supreme. Support us on that Patreon. And make sure and definitely now you can choose whatever amount you want to pledge to us, but I highly recommend that you go at least $5 or more. So you can get that shout out like AJ the Supreme. Yep. That way people can know, yeah, I'm a supporter of the Miracle Universe here. Yeah. As Aquaman said, yeah, my man, and my and I guess and also include my woman. Okay, baby, that I'm getting like Thor. I'm running out of things to say. I feel and I run out of things to say. Tony, you can start now. So okay, so yeah, we're gonna close that here for now. There will be more in our next videos to come. Definitely be on the lookout for that. And also, forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but we also gonna be having other side videos, a lot more side videos that pretty sure you've been seeing quite a bit of, like the Bubbling the Music video, as well as that Bag Boy cartoon. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of little side videos coming up, especially shorts, because I just spent yesterday making some shorts, so definitely be looking out for them on the side there. And again, like I say, we will see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody.